Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Late Late Live Audio Roundtable. This is Steve Westman. Glad you can join me. Welcome. For all you insomniacs out there, if you're listening or watching from overseas, good morning. I thought I would do this, maybe do a half hour, 1 hour, just depends. Wanted to just talk about, in the coming weeks, you saw the thumbnail there, put it up again, the Beatles Red and Blue remix will be released sometime this month. I'm curious to get everyone's thoughts on that. Are you going to buy it? What's the packaging going to be look? What's it going to look like? I'm curious. I mean, what's that going to look like? Now, the one thing about the Red and Blue, are they going to address this? This is the thing that I'm curious right here. Right? Have a look. Are they going to address Free as a Bird, Real Love, and of course the new song Now and Then? It'll all be in stereo. Very curious to hear your thoughts, guys. Hope you join me. I haven't looked here at the comments yet. Let me have a look at everyone here. I'm going to say hi to everyone. That's you insomniacs. Who do we got here? Nick, AZ Mick, Trevor Dawson, welcome. You guys need to sleep, man, for a Monday night, but it was Thanksgiving here in Canada, so definitely I'm up. I got lots. Oh, the Music Sanctuary, thank you, hello. So Nick here, I'll likely buy it, even though I've got the originals. That's the thing. Will I buy it? The packaging, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to wait, what the price is going to be. Does anyone even know or even guess what the price will be? Now, it's going to be 4 LPs, right? 33 RPM. What will the price? What will be the price? How will it be packaged? What will make a difference? Now, this is all remixed by Giles Martin, all in stereo. This is celebrating the 50. I guess the Red and Blue albums came out in 1973, the year I was born, so 50 years ago. All going to be remixed using the software that Peter Jackson and his team obviously designed for their movies. Now, what will it sound like? What do you guys think? Do we need more Beatles stuff right now? I know I did a video a while back. I was hoping for it to be more than just the Beatles Red and Blue, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely coming out this month. AZ Mix says I'm Beatled out. A lot of people are Beatled out. Yeah, I mean, we've only got a certain amount of money to spend on records, right? So it just depends on where you're at. I think most of us have everything that's out there, so I guess we'll see. Trevor Dawson, is this cut at Abbey Road? Yes, it's in Abbey Road. It's everything that the Beatles do, all the reissues are all coming out of Abbey Road only. And if they're remixed, they will be remixed and then mastered to a digital file, and then speed cut by Miles Scholl. That's the way that will work. And Nick, yes, I'll talk about that. That is a UK Vertigo first press Sabbath self-titled. I'll get into that as well, because if you looked at the heading today of my fun little late show, I want to talk about the possibilities of Rhino Hi-Fidelity doing a remaster using Kevin Gray. Now, wouldn't that be amazing? When Patrick Milligan was on the Roundtable show a few months ago, when we were talking about the release of what was it, the Cars and Coltrane Sounds, I brought it up to him. He didn't say no. He said he'd look at it. So, I mean, why? If they'll probably do it, is my guess. But again, it'll only be 5,000. So talk about, we talk a lot on my show about FOMO and whatnot. But wow, I guess we'll have to see. And if any of you guys want to come up, I'd love to have you up. I'll give you the link in a second. But getting back to it here, I just wanted to go and look at something here. Now, let's talk about the Red album here quickly. And what I wanted to show, which very interesting to me. Now, 1962 to 66 is the Red album. Okay. There's a lot of bootlegs in its day. This is actually, I mean, Alan Klein, as we know, was the manager that the Beatles, other than Paul McCartney, wanted. McCartney obviously wanted his father-in-law. That didn't happen. This actually worked out really well for the Beatles, these two albums, because it was what 10, I guess 10 years after they almost came to the United States, or 9 years after, and I mean, it sort of opened them up to a new market, right? Because I mean, as someone who was 6 or 7 years old in 1964, when the Beatles came to New York for the Ed Sullivan Show, 10 years later, you're looking at someone that's 16, 17 years old now being able to listen to these records. So I think it was a smart move by Alan Klein. It says he was shortly before he was dismissed from his position. I'm not sure. I know I've heard lots of different rumors about how much it sold, but I think it really helped the Beatles financially at that point in 1973. And again, it brought a lot of new people to that record. Now, a couple of things here. What I wanted to go through, I'll go slow so you can see it on my screen here. I thought this was quite interesting here. Let me just do it. So here are the tracks. Love Me Do, Please Please Me, From Me to You, She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, All My Loving, Can't Buy Me Love. Now, these are all being remixed, so we know that some of these songs need to be remixed, or it'll be curious to hear what the remixing software that was used by Peter Jackson and his team sounds like. We know it worked well for the Revolver album. I quite enjoyed that one. So I think it'll be a new experience. It's sort of reimagined, right? It's going to be sort of a different sound than we're used to. And some of us who were more traditionalists maybe want that, maybe just want the original sound and not interested in the reimagined or remix version. I mean, it's one of those things. I'll have to see. It's very interesting. But what I want to show you here, and just on the Wikipedia page, I found this interesting. So in 1973, when this album first was released, the UK vinyl, the Love Me Do song had fake stereo, and it was from the Please Please Me stereo version of the album. It came off that album. Now, when it was mixed on 1973 US vinyl, they used the early Beatles, which of course is the same as the UK vinyl. But here's the thing: in 1993 and 2010, the CD reissues, they changed it up. It was a mono mix from the Please Please Me mono version. So go figure. So again, anywhere you see mono, especially in the 93 and 2010 reissue, that's all going to be stereo, right? So they did reissue this, or I guess remastered it in 2014. And I was bringing it up here. You can see it right away. So I'm going to assume right now that they probably used the same tapes from the 2014 mastered version, I would assume. So anyways, who knows? It's all speculation, right? But we'll have to see about that. Now, getting back to it, a lot of it's interesting, like She Loves You, using a 1966 fake stereo mix from a collection of Beatles oldies. That was their source for that song for this record. Now, the US version, they used a 1966 re-EQ'd mono from a collection of Beatles oldies. So the UK had the stereo mix, the US version had the mono mix. Go figure. And Want to Hold Your Hand, stereo mix was used. And the 66 stereo mix was used from a collection of Beatles oldies. The 64 fake stereo was used for the US pressing. I mean, it's just all over the place. So that's one thing about this album, which is really cool, is the fact that it's going to be more consistent now, all going to be in stereo, all going to be remixed. They took out basically separated all the instruments and brought them back, brought them out, and now we're going to be able to listen to it, which I find fascinating. I'm a big Beatles fan, but getting back to sort of my opening here, do you guys want to buy this thing? Does anyone want to come on and talk about it a little bit? I'd invite anyone on. I'll give you guys the link here if you're interested. You can jump on quickly here. Put the link up. there's a link there. If anyone wants to join me, love to have you on. Please join me. Now, any thoughts on that? The packaging will be interesting as well, right? Because I mean, you look at all the other Beatles remixes, from the Let It Be that came out to Revolver, these big boxes, and it just, there's not just one specific size. So I'm not sure what that will look like. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't know. I'm debating it. You can see my dog behind me there. I'm debating it. I really am debating it. We'll have to see. And I also want to talk records as well today, because I really truly feel, and I mean, I think it was Nick that asked me in the stream here if that was a UK Vertigo. Yes, it is. That's a first press UK behind me. I want to see this remastered by Kevin Gray for Rhino Hi-Fidelity on 180 gram RTI vinyl, obviously, in the beautiful album covers that the Rhino does now use. I know it's going to be limited to 5,000. I know I've talked about it before, how that creates FOMO, but man, yeah, I think that would be probably won't happen this year. I mean, like anything, it takes months and months to get a record out. So it's not like, even the Red and Blue album, I'm assuming that was probably done a while back now. It wasn't something they just happened upon the last, 3 to 4 months. So one of those things. I want to just take some comments here. I'm going to go to Day Tripper. Day Tripper, I'm not interested in the Blue and Red album whatsoever, and I'm a huge Beatle fan. I was hoping for Rubber Soul. I don't know why they were thinking about remixing these two albums. That's the thing, right? I mean, I thought for sure for the longest time it was going to be Rubber Soul. So yeah, you're right. It's somewhat disappointing. I'd have to agree with you there. So obviously, Day Tripper's not a fan. Probably not going to buy it. What else can I put up here? Music Sanctuary. Let's see here. What's he have to say? I'm just getting over my foam over the Beatles mono box and paying the stupid late people tax. My efforts are now going into a new turntable. And that's the thing. I addressed that, and I'm going to do give me a month or so. I'm going to do a full tour of my home stereo, my home equipment and gear as well. I don't ever do shootouts here at the house just because you got kids running around. I got dogs barking. I don't really have a listening room really dedicated to shootouts as well, but I definitely want to show everyone do a little quick tour. I've got 2 separate listening rooms, one with my gear and then one with my collection of records, and another system as well that I let my kids use. So you can imagine it's not anything too fancy, but I want my kids to get into vinyl just like me. So I mean, I definitely encourage that as well. Does anyone want to come up and chat a little bit as well live here? I'd love to have you guys up as one of my guests. I should let you know this week, tomorrow, we're doing like a Tuesday 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time roundtable with Mike Jazzbum will be on, Josh Norad from High Fidelity Records will be on, and Anthony Kershaw from Audiophilia Magazine or audiophilia.com will be on. Their assignment, and I over the weekend, was to choose 10 essential jazz albums that you don't have, I guess, and there are reasons why they picked those ones as well. So I think it'll be really fascinating. I like to switch it up a bit. Can't always talk about Sabbath or the Beatles and whatnot. But yeah, like I said, I'll get into some of the stuff I have behind me as well in a little bit. Again, the stream link is there, guys. If you're interested, anyone wants to jump up. Nick, if you want to jump up, here's your chance, man. Go for it. The Music Sanctuary. Rhino is finally getting. Here's the thing. What's saying? This is interesting. Where's Music Sanctuary? Sorry about that. I want to put you up again if I can. Where did it go? Yeah, Rhino is finally getting a store website up here, which will be great. Now, I ordered Rhino, the High Fidelity records from the Rhino Canadian website, and they've been, I guess there's something wrong, because when I ordered that, what was that, 8-10 weeks ago now, I still haven't gotten mine. So unfortunately. And Nick, you'd love to join, don't have a laptop? Well, you've got an iPhone. works on the iPhone. This is like very rare that I'm on a laptop right now for these shows. I'm always on my iPhone at the shop. So if you want to join iPhone, go for it. It works. But anyone else, if you want to come on, I'd love to hear from you guys, or keep the comments going as well. Here, got one here. So it's pretty much assumed now that the monobox is never happening again, not even like the Stones did with the colored vinyl. Now, some of you probably know I do talk to the fellows at Abbey Road. So Miles Show will be on my show sometime this month. I think live as well. He just has to get approval from Warner and Warner and Abbey Road Studios to go live, so you guys can join him then. But man, will there be another mono box? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that would be. No one's told me from my discussions with the guys there. I mean, so I have no idea what will happen there. And Reveille 1969. Here's the thing. Going forward, all these remixes that the Beatles will be releasing will all be mastered from a digital file and cut at half speed by Miles Show at Abbey Road Studios. That is going to anything going forward. When we get the Rubber Soul, that will be the same thing. So it depends. It's a mix. Everyone's mixed. Like I said, Miles will be on the show sometime before the end of this month, hopefully around when this Red and Blue records get released or albums get released. You can talk about that. I'm hoping to be live with him as well to answer questions from you guys, which will be really cool. But we'll see. Like I said, is waiting for approval there. Later on in the month, actually Friday, we've got Kevin Gray on the Audiophile Roundtable this Friday, 1 p.m. PST. So get your questions ready for him. He's looking forward to that as well. I just want to look at some more comments here. Day Tripper, another thing that drives me nuts is there's going to be tracks from Rubber Soul on the Red album. So how's that going to work? It's pretty simple. I would assume the same tracks that you're listening to on from the Rubber Soul album will be the same one that's on the Red album. So it's not going to be any different. Here's Nick. We'll add Nick right now. Hello, Nick.
Can you hear me?
How are you? Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
All right, good. Yeah. All right, I made it up. Good. Yeah.
There you go. Welcome
sitting
to
in a dark room.
Well, we won't ask what you're doing in the dark room, will we?
No, you don't need to know that. It's very secret things.
Well, welcome.
How are you?
Welcome to this is my late show. I'm good. I had I had Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so today is basically was my holiday today. So I'm sitting around and I'm like, I want to do a show. So I was looking at some stuff, and lots of you guys know that the Red and Blue album's coming out. I mean, I think it was rumored to come out last month. It's not happening, but I definitely feel it's going to happen this month. So absolutely will happen at some point. I don't know the dates. No one tells me that, but pretty good bet with Miles Show coming onto my show sometime this month that's going to happen. That's how I.
Oh, cool.
Again, he hasn't told me that either, so quite interesting as well. Yeah, so I don't know. The box itself, we'll have to see what it looks like. It's going to be 4 albums. I mean, how thick is it going to be? We'll have to see, right? And also, too, what are they going to address? And this is a thing to know if they're going to address the other songs.
Yeah, that's a good.
Did I get cut off there? Oh, weird.
You but you're fine now. That was
okay.
That's a question of mine. I mean that's all the more incentive to pick it up as if it has those extra tracks. And I've bought the rest of the remixes, so might as well keep it going. And
we joke
like the way they sound.
Joke about that on the round table. We call it the reimagine, right? It's within the family, so Giles Martin,
right,
son of George. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. We'll see. I mean, we spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of money on vinyl, so it's like you got to just figure out where you want to put it, right?
Yeah.
Are you a big Beatles fan and collector or what?
You know what? I don't talk about them much, but I'm a huge Beatles fan. I mean, I have a quite. I mean, it's probably not as big as someone like you, but I bought the mono box, but I didn't buy it until like 2015 or 16. I mean, they were still very readily
Yeah.
available up until like 2017 is when you started to see people's interest in them, really
Yeah.
pop up, and now they're
Well,
going for
that
like
came out in 2000. That came out in
$2,000.
2014, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But that
yeah.
came
I
out in
didn't buy mine.
2014, the mono box,
Yeah,
and I remember,
yep.
that you could. I saw them at Costco. I saw a pile of them at Costco when I lived in
Yeah,
Kelowna, British
yeah,
Columbia, and I saw them. I mean, I have one because of it, but I mean, there was piles of it, and I'd go every single week, and they'd still be sitting there, still be
yeah,
sitting there. So it took a long time, and I know my conversations with Miles Scholl over the last year or so. Abbey Road Studios was worried when that first came out because it didn't sell very well at the beginning. I mean, not a lot of people
yeah,
were buying it like they would today, right? Because the
yeah,
vinyl surge wasn't what it was or what it is
yeah.
now.
No,
So those
yeah,
those those
yeah,
those mono boxes sat on the shelf for a long time, right?
yeah, yeah. It's ridiculous. But I mean, but think about vinyl between 2000 vinyl. I'm sorry, vinyl sales between 2014 versus like now or even the past few years, or even in the early 2000s, it was still like a paradise out there, and you could buy up everything you wanted for very inexpensively.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so, I mean, so you said you got the mono box. How much did you pay on the aftermarket?
I paid $250 for it. And that's
There
in
you go. It's your
US
Nick.
dollars.
Nick.
Yeah.
It's your retirement. It's your retirement fund, man. That's amazing.
Hey, you know what? My whole record collection is going to be my retirement.
Well, I guess we shouldn't probably think like that either, right? I mean, it's
No,
one
no,
of
of course
those
not.
things we're here.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I'm here to listen to the music. I was fortunate
Yeah,
enough
yeah,
to
me
inherit a
too.
decent sized collection from my dad years ago, which I don't have. I mean, living in Vancouver, there's only a certain amount of storage I have, and a certain amount of rooms I have. So I mean, I store a lot of my records in Rubbermaid bins in a carriage house garage, that I have
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah.
it's well taken care of, but I can't store everything. I just don't have the room. I don't know about you. I just don't have the room. When you have a family and
Yeah.
everyone needs rooms, right?
Yeah, room is definitely becoming an issue. I mean, I've got two of those 16 cube Kallax shelves, and like I don't know, maybe god 20, 30 milk crates still full.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still have like maybe a collection that I had to store at my buddy's house that I bought right before the pandemic. I bought a collection that was like, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 thousand records, and but that thing was
Oh
crazy.
wow.
I got it for a steal, and um, I went through, took what I wanted, and for a while it was basically an ATM. I sold off
Yeah.
a good amount
Yeah.
of it, but yeah, I mean, do
So
you?
here's a.
I'm sorry, what?
I was just going to read this comment here from Reveille69. Why
Yeah,
not just cut full speed from a safety copy of a tape and have it mastered by the best? Miles seems like a nice cat, but he is not in the top 5. I mean, the Abbey Roads, the tapes aren't leaving Abbey. The tapes aren't leaving Abbey Road. So I mean, that's the thing. They're
no,
not
yeah,
leaving Abbey Road. So that's how it's going to happen. I mean, there's no other way around that. It's not going to happen. So here's the thing
no,
about this whole Miles at half speed. I mean, the Who's Next box that just came out was all cut at full speed by Miles, whereas the individual Who's Next was cut at half speed. So, yeah, I guess if he wanted to, he could cut it at full speed. And that's the one thing I will ask Miles when he's on my show in the coming weeks is it something the Beatles are asking to do, or Abbey Road Studios is asking you to cut it at half speed? I'd be curious to hear his reasons why, or if it's just his choice. I'm curious. I really am.
Yeah, me too. And you know, it
Any
seems
thoughts?
like it's such a, you know, a case to case basis for me, where, you know, I have certain half speeds that sound absolutely fantastic, and then, you know, records that were cut at regular speed that sound better. And, you know, you never can tell. Hey, Michael, what's up, dude? So you know, it's you never really can tell until you have it in your hands and have listened to it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll have to see. So I'm looking at more comments here. This is kind of fun. I don't do the late stuff very often. I just can't. Had a good holiday this Monday. I've had 2 holidays in a row. 2 Mondays in a row as holidays. It's been a nice long weekend here in Canada. 2 times in a row, so it's not bad. Nick, good. the night bird. Michael says here, I was looking for Trevor Dawson's comment. Here it is. The tapes won't leave Abbey Road, but what about the DSD file? I have no idea. Anything to do with DSD or what they're doing with that or what file it is. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm not going to even speculate. I guess when Miles comes on the show, we can go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. The DSD, you know, sourced records that I have, like the Stones mono box, it sounds fantastic. And you know,
so the Stones mono box, yeah.
I never judge a record on, you know, necessarily on the, you know, source. If it's, you know, if it's digital is not the dirty word, you know, that I think, you know, certain, you know, that it used to be, you know, just I think maybe people, you know, were just a bit misinformed about it, but then again, the technology improves and it gets better over time, and you know. But
you're getting some. Apparently, your audio is not very good, Nick. Your audio is sounding very crunchy. So maybe you want to jump back in. There's some problems with your audio. Apparently, I'm just.
You know, hold on. Try this.
I'll jump back in when you have a second.
All right.
There you go. Oh. So if anyone else wants to come up, I'd love to chat more. I mean, go for it. We can talk half speed mastering. Let's look at some of these comments here as well. 33 Spree, thanks for joining. I like to understand why his cuts don't use the full space on the record. The Avalon I have is not as good as the original I have. Well, the original, as everyone knows, I have both. The original was mastered by Robert Ludwig. Sounds really good. I don't mind the half speed cut that Miles did as well. And he says, I noticed there's more space left versus the OG. Interesting. I hadn't even looked at that. That's actually a very interesting point. I'll have to have a look. Reveille, 1969. Assuming that's the year you were born. Am I right? Where did that go? It's too late for me, man. I can't even read. I've done a ton of comparisons between PCM and DSD. The DSD sounds perfectly like the tape. Well, that goes back to the MoFi issue, right? I mean, that's what they think. That's the reason why they switched to DSD. They felt the MoFi, they felt the DSD was the best sounding out of all of the different comparisons they did, and that's why they used DSD. Let's try Nick again here, see if his audio is not as crunchy.
Hey.
Let me know, too, guys, if the did you change your audio up, or what did you do?
I was using earbuds with a mic on it, and I just removed it. Does it sound any better?
Yeah, and I'll let the viewers, let us know if there's issues. I mean, it was a little crunchy in my headphones, but I actually thought that was me, but hopefully it's not that. It sounds a little bit better now, that's for sure.
Okay, cool.
So, and then the thing is, and I will agree with Michael 40. Yeah. I'll agree with Michael 45. The Avalon is one of the better pressings of Miles Scholes, the Avalon Roxy Music. And it's funny, I did a little video on the hype sticker as well, because on the Avalon hype sticker that Abbey Road put out, it said it was cut directly from the 1/4-inch tapes, which we know is not true. So I mean, yeah. Here's a question. Christopher Cordova is asking me something here. I can get his question up. Hang on. There he is. Hi, Steve. Any clues the next Rhino titles? I do have a clue. One of those things I can't tell you. But next release for Rhino is November 17th. They'll have one pop/rock album and one jazz release. So we'll have to see. Be very interesting. See everyone's reaction as well of that. I'll have to see what happens. Everyone's telling you, your light, you're dark back now. Turn on the lights. Michael 45 is asking you, Nick. Do you have no. You always have the lights on for Michael's show, don't you?
I'm actually I'm at work in this. I honest to God, I stay because my work is, you know, over an hour away from me, so I'll stay. My employer is also a good friend of mine, so I crash here in the extra bedroom instead of going, you know, driving that much, you know, especially with the cost of gas and you know, just, you know. But yeah, I'm curious as to, but you know, as far as the 75th Atlantic reissues go, at least we have a list of the titles that are coming up. You know, we may not know exactly what titles they might be, but you know, or what, you know, when they're coming out, but we have a list, and I think what are there, maybe like 5 or 6 missing, and I know what everyone's hoping they are, and you know, I don't even need to mention what we all hope they are.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of rumors about it being Led Zeppelin. I mean, that's probably, love to see it happen. But
Zepp and
we'll
Sabbath.
just wait and see.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I think like getting back to it. I mean, you were asking about this here. Yeah, I mean, this is the UK first press of self-titled. Now,
oh yeah,
I love to see this remastered by Rhino. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Rhino before AP, or before AP does it, is my guess.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they would.
That's my guess as well. This one sounds. So I have the Canadian version, which uses the same plates as the US version as well, the Warner Brothers one. It just doesn't compare. They just
yeah.
This one
no, it does.
It's so hard to explain, but it just has everything you want. This is just a killer. So you know, I really hope if Rhino was to remaster this album, they use a great UK reference.
Yes.
Someone's, you know, hopefully if Kevin is cutting this, they use this reference. So if Rhino's listening, I'll give them this I'll send them this record to, you know, to reference. Why not? That'd make for a good video, actually, wouldn't it? There you go. Yeah.
Is the
that's in great condition. You're breaking up again. Are you on your phone or your laptop?
No, I'm on my iPad.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much a VG plus.
All right. Oh, okay. Hey, that's great for that.
Yeah, it's not. It's really. It's really. Yeah, I'm gonna.
You're
maybe we'll get someone else on. I can.
Too. Yeah, I'm gonna go back into the.
Okay. I'll take you off. Okay. Bye. Maybe that's better. Sorry about that, Nick. Thank you. Now, anyone else think? I mean, well, let's talk some Black Sabbath, and it's one of my favorite bands here. Hopefully this sounds better now. Revelry 69, my first press Black Sabbath Warner with the green label, sounds pretty darn good. I have the Canadian version of that one, the same plates. If you guys know who Tom Port is, who runs Better Records, the hot stamper guy, he's been on my show. I've spoken to him about this, and he feels the US first pressing sounds better than the UK. So I don't know. I'll have to see. Am I still lagging now? Just want everyone to make sure. I'm not sure why I'd be lagging. I should have really good internet here. Really strange, but maybe not. Let me know if I am, guys. So digital cuts are amazing, though. You can clearly hear the difference. If you can't, feel lucky that you saved a bunch of money. Thank you, Bill A. Guys, how's my sound? Just let me know. We were both sounding good. Hello, John Bandy. Hello. All good. Thank you. Yeah, I think Nick was on his iPad, so one of those things. What else do we have here? Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, I've got the Greenie Man in Pit. It does sound good. Like I said, actually, this here, it's interesting about the Sabbath self-titled. There's one little tidbit of information here on this. This is, of course, the gatefold. Now, this is actually, it's a second press, but it's the same plates as the first press. And the reason why this is the second press is that in the middle here, you probably can't see it, but it says this stereo record can be played on mono. Where does it say it here? There's something on here, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but there's a difference in the wording between the very first press and the second press. But again, the same plates were used. So this is, like I said, an incredible album. If Rhino does repress it, man, we'll see. There'll be a lot of interesting shootouts. That's for sure. Does anyone else want to jump on board here and have a little chat with me? I don't know. Hopefully it works out for everyone. So what are your thoughts on this whole Beatles thing coming out sometime this month? Anyone going to jump on it? I'm curious to know what they're going to do. I think it's going to be an extended like the Blue album, because again, like getting back to the extra tracks, right? Are they going to include those extra tracks on the Blue album? Is it going to be a little bit different? Now and Then. Will Now and Then be on the Blue album? Are they going to release that separately? That is, I think, where the money might be, where people might then think twice of actually buying it, because those songs, or at least that last song, will be on there. I mean, yeah, I think anything the Beatles do, I mean, if you think about it, is it a money grab? Well, hey, they're out. I guess this whole industry is all out to make money. So yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a money grab, but there's a market for it. So why not? People are going to buy it. And this is the thing too. I don't think with any of these these Beatles records is going to be FOMO at all. I don't, we're not going to, you don't have to basically run out and get it the first day it's released, because look at Let It Be, the box set. I think it was on Analogue Productions website not long ago. I haven't looked lately, but they were selling for $65 back then. So wow. So there you go. I mean, I think they'll be around for a while. It's not going to be limited, right? So they'll be around for definitely around for a long time. Just want to see what Michael 45 has to say. So something about the Beatles. The Beatles fan will buy everything that is connected to the Beatles, and the VC will do a lot of videos for the views. Yes, that's the thing, right? The videos and the reviews will be fast and furious. So whenever this comes out, that's one of the reasons why they buy it, right? To get it back onto the vinyl community and start reviewing these things. But yeah, absolutely. And no, I don't think they're going to have an SACD version of the Red and Blue, will they? That'd be interesting. So you guys going to buy it? Red album, Blue album? I think the Blue album, they're going to have the additional tracks. I really do. And I went into it before at the top of the show here. I mean, do you guys remember the tracks? Do you remember the tracks? I mean, the ones there was, back in 1990. Gosh, what was it now? Was it 94? They did the analogy. I think that's when it was 94. But it was Free as a Bird, Real Love, and Now and Then. So, do you think there's a 2023 mix of Free as a Bird? Do you think there's a 2023 mix of Real Love, and of course the new Now and Then song? What do you think? Will that happen? Or will it be this? Will it just be a single, which would make no sense to me, that's for sure. I definitely think it will be packaged pretty nicely with, a decent booklet, of course. I mean, we're going to see the, rare photos or photos we haven't seen before, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you're going to see that. Will you guys buy it? I would think hard about it, depending on, what it's going to sound like. We all know you're using Peter Jackson's company's software now to basically separate all the instruments. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Well, I mean, I think it's more. I'm just looking at Bill's comment here. Milk the biggest Beatles fan until their heirs cash in. This is the thing, right? This is all about estate planning for the Beatles. I mean, grab as much money as you can. I mean, will there be a big vinyl market? Will it be a big Beatles market in 30, 40, 50 years from now, guys? Who knows, right? So grab it now. I was really hoping that it's all the albums, but what can you do? We'll have to see. Like I said before, Sabbath, I want to see a Sabbath self-titled. I want to see that by Rhino Hi-Fidelity. I'm hoping to see that in the next 6 months. I have no idea if it's going to happen. Pure speculation on my part. Of course, no one's told me. They're not going to tell me clearly, but it would make a lot of sense to me to, that would be one of the biggest FOMOs we'd experienced in the longest time, pre-DSD gate. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. What is Bandy saying here? So I saw something here. They will make the singles in every color. If it's new Beatles single, Beatles nuts have to have it all. Whatever makes folks happy. I won't be getting it though until I do. Yeah, exactly right. You won't be getting it until you do. So we'll see. I say that now, but any guys Tom Waits fans at all? Any Tom Waits fans? Reason why? I know we talk about Miles Scholl, Abbey Road Studios. This one sort of went under the radar here. This was just released this year. This is Tom Waits' debut album, Closing Time. And this is 50 years ago as well. This year, Closing Time, double LP, 33 RPM. It's got the song Old 55, which of course the Eagles also covered. If you're not a Tom Waits fan, I mean, I think his debut album is one of his best albums, and this is actually a 45 RPM. I'm very sorry. This is actually 45 RPM, cut at half speed at Abbey Road Studios by Miles Scholl. Now, I don't believe he mastered this one. I believe he got a file and he just cut it half speed at 45 RPM, but it does sound really good. I have an original of this, and I was really impressed with this album. And like I said, this is 2023. It's 50-year-old anniversary. So if you're a Tom Waits fan, you want a nice, I don't know how much this is, $50 US. Not bad, man. Not bad. Anyone listen to White Stripes over the weekend? And we still haven't gotten into Atlantic 45 as well. I want to hear some thoughts on, has anyone had a chance to listen to the Phil Collins Face Value 45 RPM that just was shipped to lots of people's houses? Anyone? Now that was mastered by the 45 RPM Atlantic series from AP, mastered by Chris Bellman at Bernie Grundman Studios. Now, I believe on the website, I'm not on the website right now, but it did say that they used a 1/4-inch EQ dub tape to cut it. So, not that that matters, but again, how does it sound? I mean, I have a Canadian original, love the original. I think it sounds great. It was really well recorded back in its day. What was that, 1980, 1980 that came out? I mean, that was that was in the air tonight. I still remember listening to that as a kid when I was 7 years old when that came out. I mean, it still gives me goosebumps, that whole song. Incredible. So the Music Sanctuary, this is another thing. I mean, there's sort of debate right now. Hang on. Patrick played the Phil Collins today. Sounded great from AZ Mick. Music Sanctuary agreed 45. I'm steering away from the Atlantic 75th releases as well. They that could kill me. Well, it's all about money, right? So I mean, apparently Patrick streamed. So Patrick's I didn't catch that today. So Patrick streamed the album tonight. Is that my understanding, or had a stream about the album? Does anyone know? The original sounds great. I mean, sounds really good. But again, it cut at 45. Yeah, obviously big improvement. What's Bandy saying here, John? Sir, I'll get you up here. The Prime's an improvement. The KG sounds flat compared to the more spacious, detailed Atlantic 45. It makes sense, right? I mean, you're getting more vinyl, more grooves, you get more space on that record. I mean, it makes a lot of sense why 45 should normally sound better. I think a lot of people, it's about if you're lazy and you just want it at 33 and you like the track listing, the continuity and the way it is, and you keep it at you want to keep it at 33, fine. But if you want better sound quality, probably 9 out of 10 times the 45 should sound better. That's for sure. Anyone else have experiences with the first 3 Atlantic 45, Atlantic 75, 45 RPM cuts tonight? I guess you guys would have received them this weekend or on Friday. Anyone? They should add a 45 of Now and Then, Free as a Bird and Real of New Art. Hey, that's interesting. Maybe that's what they do. You know how on the Let It Be box set, they had like an EP. Maybe they do a 45 RPM EP of those 3 songs remixed. I never thought about that. Interesting. There you go. Ivan the Music Man is saying about Tom Waits. I got the Tom Waits closing time from the 2010 cut from the original Analogue masters by Chris Bellman. How does it sound? I'm a huge Tom Waits fan. I do like this one. I know, yeah, digital, but it is 45 RPM. Got it half speed by Miles Scholl. Just came out not too long ago. I like it. Trevor Dawson saying, are you guys going to touch some of the titles? I mean, I being Canadian, it costs me a little bit more. I'm definitely going to get a few. I've ordered a few. I'm really a big INXS fan, so I'm definitely going to get the INXS Kick album when it comes out. Abbey Road Studios did Kick. Well, I've got the original Kick, which sounds great. Clear Mountain has produced and engineered that, so the original sounds fantastic as well. So again, being a huge INXS fan, I have to do that. That's for sure. I don't know. With the 45 RPM, it's about if you want to get up every 8 or 10 minutes, right? That's the thing. And I'll be curious to know how with the Atlantic 75 series, how they, I guess one of the Yes album, they had to cut the one song into 2, so and it's going to be in 2 different sides. So it's just track continuity will be a little bit different, and that goes back to why like something like Abbey Road, the actual record by the Beatles, will never be a 45 RPM cut because that would screw up the entire flow of the second side, right? Just would not happen. That's for sure. Yeah, Music Sanctuary. The Yes albums will definitely be interesting. And what's that one? The Genesis one. It was the song Sup. Oh gosh, sorry, it's too late. Supper's Ready. Is that the name of the track? Which is like a massively long song. I think that one is definitely going to be cut in 2 as well. So we'll see how they do that. I'm sure it'll be fine. We'll have to see. Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people are raving about, and going back, and Nick just put this up. Yeah, I saw the tour as well, Nick. I stood in line. I used to live in Winnipeg, and I was the Kick tour. What year was that? 87, 88. So it would have been 16, 17. God, I froze my ass off. It was 40 below in Winnipeg. They had to get the tickets in January. They came in March of that year, and I got front row seats to see Michael Hutchence. But yeah, apparently the Abbey Road sound, is a lot of people like the Abbey Road, 45, the Abbey Road. So I don't know. We'll have to see, but definitely getting the Kick. That's for sure. Anyone else? Nick, John Bandy. He's getting the Kick. I'm in on Kick too. I think the INXS Kick will be a killer album. I'm excited about that one. I really am. I mean, I guess if you're a huge fan of a band, you just you have to do it, right? Bill A, how many 45s do you have to own before you decide that they are a PETA and give up on them? Is it my age? I've certainly exceeded my age limit at 59. I don't know. Depends on what you want to do. I mean, 45 can be a pain in the ass, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so 87. I think it was 88. I think it was 88. Would have been. I think the Kick tour was January or March of 88. I want to say that's when I went for sure. I think, but Suicide Blonde would have come after Kick. I think, John, if I'm not mistaken, the album after that. But yeah, if you guys, I mean, that's the thing. The NXS Kick album. You go to your record store, look in some of the bins. They're cheap. I found one at my record store here in Vancouver for 16 Canadian dollars. And this is the thing, if you guys really want to get into shape, I think Michael 45 basically said it. Yeah, I mean, if you want to get in shape, buy the 45. Your significant other will be very, very thrilled that you're getting a lot of exercise in with the 45 RPM. So it depends. I mean, I was in a phase there for the longest time, especially when with all the one steps. I really enjoyed the 45s. I think I'm just getting lazy as well. But yeah, I guess it just depends on your budget, right? And that type of thing. Anyone else excited about the Atlantic 75 series? Like, what are the stuff that you guys are excited about? I did order the Yes. I'm excited about that. Hi, Scott Wheeler. I haven't seen Scott Wheeler for a while. What's he saying here? How are you, Scott? He has hundreds of 45 RPMs. I still find the energy to drag my ass out of the chair and flip the record. There you go. So you're in shape then. That's fantastic. I mean, it does sound better, right? So, I mean, it is worth it. They wouldn't do it otherwise, but yeah. That's the thing about 45 RPM albums. It does take up more shelf space. So it gets to a point where space becomes an issue, right? So you got to be careful with that too. It's one of those things. So yeah, I mean, does anyone listen to the Mobile Fidelity Silver Label Kick NXS? Do you guys have that one? I heard it's awful. And then Chris Cordova here. Has anyone reviewed the Miles Electric VMP box? Michael 45, do you have that one? I know hearing a lot of good things about that. I mean, I do have the MoFis, but the Miles VMP Electric years, stellar box. I think they were printing 2,000 or 2,500, so I think they're still available as well. Fascinating. 45 gives you more dynamic range, of course. And I mean, this just opens up, it's more space on that record. So you're not worried about inner groove distortion as well, right? So exactly. I mean, that's the thing. So it's definitely worth it. Just have to get up more. Yeah. You can find the Kick album, Nick. They're anywhere. Oh, you had the MoFi, you sold it. Okay. Do you remember what it sounded like? It's Silver Label. I'm not a huge fan of the Silver Label. I've got the two Tears for Fears Silver Label, like Seeds of Love and Songs from the Big Chair. And I like my Steven Wilson remix a lot better of Seeds of Love. And I do believe Abbey Road, Miles again, we talk about again, they're coming out with the entire catalog, half-speed cut by Miles Scholl. So they just released the debut album of Tears for Fears. So I guess after that, we'll see Songs from the Big Chair, I think. Is that the one after that? I can't remember, but well, it'd be very interesting to hear those ones. Are you guys big fans of Steven Wilson's remixes at all? You guys, I mean, he did a lot of he did the tall stuff, right? Not bad. Anyone else? Nick thinks the 45, you're saying it was bloated low end. Okay. And we're talking the Kick. Here, I'll put it up here. Sorry. This is the Mobile Fidelity Silver Label Kick album. I don't know what year that they released that, but he said it sounded flat, as you can remember, bloated on the low end. So interesting. Well, I think I'll love to compare my Kick 33 with the 45 of the AP version when it comes out. It should be fantastic. Here's Scott Wheeler. Hang on. I'll put you up here. Wilson remixes are inches, but generally prefer the original mixes. True. Yeah. Just depends. or the reimagined, right? I mean, just depends. I saw something. Hang on, I saw something. I don't know if you came in late there. Any insider info on Sabbath AAA reissue? If you guys recall and go back on my channel, I did that interview with the AR of Rhino Hi-Fidelity, Patrick Milligan, and I straight up asked him at the time. I said, "Will you please look at getting Sabbath?" And he says, "I'll look into it." Right? I haven't heard anything since, but I'm crossing my fingers that maybe they're working on it. That would be amazing. And like I said, I'll offer my UK original to it would be Kevin cutting it. I'll ship it to him for free if he wants to use this as a reference. So Rhino, if you're listening again, I think they'll sell 5,000 the first day it's released. If this ever happens, that would be amazing. But no inside information. I have no idea. It's all just pure speculation, that's for sure. This is a new thing, Michael. There you go. I'm just sort of checking this stuff out. I've never used this microphone before, so I'm just having some fun tonight with this as well. Yeah, I'm a fan of Wilson's remixes. I mean, why not? What's John Bandy saying here? John's not a fan of remixes that suck the energy out of the sound, but Chicago 2 remix, excellent. Most albums don't need remixes of. So I would assume then, John, you're not going to be buying any more of the Beatles remix stuff. I'm assuming you're not going to give them any more of your money. Would it be right to say that? I saw another one here. Hang on a second. Junkyard Vinyl. What's he saying? If the mixes were reverse Wilson first versus OG, would probably prefer the Wilson. Train Brain. I think I've touched upon that too, right? In other shows I've done. It's just conscious bias and whatnot, right? When you're doing shootouts and you're comparing records, when you sort of know the one that you're playing, your brain will basically, if you haven't even listened to it yet, but you think the 45 RPM sounds better because it's 45, you're probably going to think that you're probably going to prefer the 45 just because your brain tells you to. So I think blind shootouts work better. Again, everything is subjective, right? Who knows? Who cares? If you're enjoying the music and it gets to the point, it's all about the music. And that's what's so fun about the Atlantic 75 series. I think it's some pretty decent titles. And, I think they're going to do really well with that. What's Bandy saying? No, I just like the Beatles remixes. The White Album said I like okay because of Escher. Is it the Escher demo? I think it's Escher demos, but I'm not a Giles remix fan. Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about this on the roundtable before, to take it out of the family, right? But that's the way it's going to be. Absolutely. Escher demos are pretty good, that's for sure. I saw the replacements. Hang on. I'll talk about that here, John. Where are we here? Oh, I'll get back to Michael asked me something too. Hang on. The replacements, Tim has another great remix. I did a video on that was it the other day, just some obscure titles, and the replacements, Tim, it's the Let It Bleed edition, is absolutely fantastic. It's the Ed Stasum mix, and what he did is the original Tim was really, sounded really mono-ish, sounded that Ramones-ish sound, if you guys know what I mean. Had a lot of reverb, a lot of snare drum, and what Ed Stasum did is he basically made it more left and right, focused on the guitars, focused on the vocals, got rid of some of the reverb. And there's a lot of other tracks during that recording session that he actually pulled some of the instruments off that to put on other parts of these songs. So if you listen to the replacements Tim box set that Rhino just came out with, you've got the Ed Stasum LP remix, you've got the remix CD, and the 2023 remastered from the original as well. So I listened to the CD remastered versus the remix, and it's night and day. If you guys are replacement fans, this will blow you away. And then again, it's beautifully packaged for like $65 US. I mean, you can't go wrong with it as well. It's absolutely amazing. So definitely grab the replacement alternative rock. Definitely grab it. You won't be disappointed with it at all. Absolutely not. Yeah, let's talk about Rocktober. I saw that comment. Hang on, let me just pull it up. Anyone want to talk Rocktober? Does anyone know some of the? I didn't pull it up before we started here, so I don't know. Does anyone know some of the Rocktober titles? Anyone? Put them up if you do. I'd be curious to know. Um, I did see the list. I cannot remember it the life of me now. Some of these titles. Definitely get the replacements. I think it's one of those underrated records. The Tim Let It Bleed edition, absolutely fantastic remix. Like I said before, had a lot of reverb on the original, and took a lot of that out and made it sound way less mono. So on the remix now, so it definitely sounds great. And like I said in my video, if you're not a Replacements fan, or if you are, the Replacements were the only band ever to be kicked off of Saturday Night Live for being, I don't even know what they were doing, but you'll have to check that out. It's interesting. So they got kicked off of Saturday Night Live, that's for sure. My take, hang on, Michael. Oh, I mean, I've talked about them a lot. I've had them on the show as well. I think the Deutsche Grammophones are fantastic. What a series! I mean, if you guys are not into classical music, the DGs are the way to go. I mean, I think there's what, Michael, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is there seven, or I think there's 11 now. They're being reissued, and they were all remixed and cut by Sidney Meyer, and who I've had on my show before. I think Sidney's been on Michael's show as well. Absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. Scott Wheeler, here we go. Some of the Rocktober stuff. This is interesting. I'm getting Astro Weeks, the KG cut. Yes, I'm getting that one. And the Monkees' Greatest Hits. Okay. I'm probably the least fan of the Monkees. Not a big fan of the Monkees at all. But yeah, that's the one I'm going to get. Astro Weeks. Now I wonder if Kevin recut that, or is that just from the plates from years ago? Maybe we'll ask him. Kevin Gray will be on my show on Friday for a Q&A just like this. So curious to know what he has to say about that one. But Astro Weeks, yeah. I think my Van Morrison, the self-titled that I have that he did, I think my Speaker's Corner. Oh, Scott's saying it's a recut. Yeah, you know what? Maybe it is. I think that, now that I'm thinking about it, I think he did tell me, Kevin did tell me it's a recut. So that'll be good. So it sounds like a lot of Rocktober fans here. Should be some good cuts as well. Anyone else? Well, guys, this has been the Late Late Show. I think I need to get to bed. I didn't realize the time. It's just past 12:30 my time, Pacific Standard Time. I'll probably do more of these. I'd love to have you guys on more in the future with more topics, but getting back to it as well. The Red and Blue, yet sometime in October, we're going to see those. I'm curious to see how it's going to be packaged and what they're going to do to include the Now and Then song. That will be interesting. Oh, this is something interesting. Hang on. Who was it here? I just saw this. Ivan the Music Man just said this. In Excess Kick was out October 23rd, 2020 as of Rocktober. Do you know who mastered that one? By chance? I know in some of those Rocktober cuts you don't know. Trevor Dawson, where are you that it's 8:30 in the morning? Obviously Europe somewhere. Michael 45. What time is it in Germany right now? You should get one of those international clocks. Curtis Mayfield live. I didn't. Oh, that's a KG cut as well. Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you. This was great. Thank you so much. I don't know how much I can do this. Hopefully the sound is great. I'm just playing around with this right now, trying other microphones and stuff. I know when Nick got on, sound got a little bit lousy, but hopefully that's rectified itself. But you guys, I'm going to bed. I've got my show tomorrow. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let me just go back. So my show tomorrow, the Audiophile Roundtable, 1 p.m. PST. God, that's coming up pretty soon. I better get to bed. I'm going to have Mike Jazzbum on. I'm going to have Josh Norred from Hi-Fidelity Records, and I'm having Anthony Kershaw from audiophilia.com. We're going to talk about 10 essential jazz records you need to have in your collection. On Friday, I'm doing a Q&A with Kevin Gray, 1 p.m. PST. That'll be fun. And then the following Tuesday, guys, I'm having Sid Schwartz, big jazz enthusiast, Joe Harley on the round table with Sid, myself, and Mike Jazzbum. So us four will be discussing who knows what, but Harley, Sid Schwartz, myself, Mike Jazzbum, the following Tuesday at 1 p.m. And I will make the announcement. I think I already did, but Mike Miles Scholl will be coming on the show, hopefully to talk about this Red and Blue release when and if it happens this month. That'll be fun. He's slated to come on end of this month. I want to have him on live. He was approved to come on the show, but I'm still seeing if he can be approved now to come on live so you guys can chat with him as well. So we'll have to see. Well, it's getting late, guys. This is fun. Hope you enjoyed it. I don't mind doing these. I really like the interaction here with everyone. Thank you so much. Put a thumbs up for me. That really helps as well. And check out the Audiophile Roundtable, 1 p.m. PST tomorrow. Spin some vinyl tonight, my European friends. But I'm going to bed. We'll see you again.